Hi, I'm Tayna, and I'm going on a journey to find out how we're linked to the people across the world by the choices we make and the things we buy, as well as finding out what life is like for the people who grow our food. I once heard a teacher tell us this Martin Luther King saying, "Before you finish eating your breakfast in the morning, you've depended on more than half the world." So you could have bananas from Colombia, nuts from Senegal, and orange juice from South Africa. I've never really thought much about where my food and clothes come from. I mean, it's just always been there, readily available in shops. I love hot chocolate. So do all my friends. I don't know anyone who doesn't like it. And it's not just hot chocolate that cocoa is used for. It's used to make many things, such as chocolate bars, ice cream, cakes, moisturizer, shower gel, and soap. But how do you get hot chocolate from a cocoa bean? To find out how hot chocolate is made, I'm heading to the Dominican Republic, an island in the Caribbean where cocoa beans are farmed. The Dominican Republic has about 10 million people living here. The average temperature is 26 degrees and 78.8 Fahrenheit. Its main language is Spanish.
Hola! Hola!
Hola! Basilio works for Conocado, a fair trade cooperative of cocoa farms. A cooperative is where lots of farmers join together to help each other out.
Welcome to the Dominican Republic and Conocado. Come with me so I can show you around.
The first place Basilio took me to was a cocoa farm in Los Brazos, which is part of Conocado. Basilio told me that when the cocoa pod is ripe, it turns yellow and the farmer cuts it from the tree. I got to try out cutting the pod down from a tree. It was hard work.
Yay!
The farmer cuts open the pod to get the cocoa beans inside.
Smells fruity.
Then the cocoa beans are fermented. Fermenting does a few things to them. It takes away any remaining pulp that may be stuck to the bean and kills any germs inside. There are 3 stages to fermenting the beans. At each stage, they are moved to a new wooden box to ferment. After this, the beans are dried on shelves with holes in them so the air can flow. They are moved around, which gives them a more chocolatey colour as well as a chocolatey flavour. They smelled much more like chocolate at this stage. And this is what cocoa looks like when it is sold to different companies across the world. It is put into bags and labelled, ready for a long journey across the world. Some companies make fair trade hot chocolate and fair trade chocolate ice cream with this cocoa. When they leave the Dominican Republic, the cocoa beans are shipped to factories in Europe, where they are turned into 3 products: liquid chocolate, cocoa butter, and cocoa powder. The cocoa powder is used to make my favourite drink, hot chocolate, as well as used for baking. When all products are ready, they are shipped to the UK to sell in shops. Whilst being here, I found out that the chocolate industry is worth a huge £4 billion. We get through roughly 660,000 tonnes of chocolate bars each year in the UK. This is the equivalent weight of nearly 4,000 blue whales. But cocoa farmers across the developing world, including farmers here in the Dominican Republic, are struggling as they live on very little money. When people struggle to live on very little money, it is known as poverty.
If cocoa's worth so much, why are the people that are producing it living in poverty?
The traders who buy the cocoa and the chocolate companies who use it to make their products are much more powerful than the farmers. They control the prices and the demand. Companies are driven by profit, so they're keen to get the best deal they can for the cocoa they buy. And the farmer is the one that receives the least in the chain. Therefore, they will always be fighting against poverty.
Prices for goods like cocoa can rise and fall, making it difficult for farmers to plan because it's unpredictable. Cocoa farmers in the developing world struggle to survive against such odds. So no matter how hard they work, farmers might not even be able to afford basics. They have to cut back on things that matter. I wanted to find out the different ways fair trade can help farmers.
So what are the benefits of fair trade? What is it like now for people?
So before fair trade, the farmers and producers didn't have any security in terms of the price and the sales of their cocoa and were struggling. But now it's more secure because there's a fair trade minimum price, which covers the cost of the production of the cocoa. And if the world market price is higher than the fair trade minimum price, the farmers also receive the higher price, so it is fair. This allows the farmers to plan ahead, make improvements. For example, in their personal lives, they can have better housing and the possibility to send their kids to school and universities, which wasn't always possible before.
This protection means they can have a stable income and plan for the future.
What other benefits are there?
So farmers also receive a fair trade premium, which is a kind of community pot of money that allows the creation of community projects, such as the supply of water and electricity, the refurbishment of schools and community centers for everyone in the area. This not only makes the life of the farmer better, but also their families.
I decided to talk to cocoa farmers and their families at Conocado to ask them what life was like before they joined fair trade and whether it has made a difference to their lives. I met a farmer called Ambrosia who told me about what life was like before fair trade.
How was it before you had fair trade?
If I started telling you, I will never finish. It was bad, really bad. We used to get paid very, very little. I had to go to take water on the back of a donkey. I could only take 2 containers at once, and by the time I wanted to wash the clothes, the children have already wasted their water, so I needed to go back again.
How has fair trade helped you?
We have water. We can now shower at any time, and we don't have to measure it. Before, it was only a few liters per person, but it is no longer the case, thanks to joining Conocado, as they have provided us with running water.
I also met Mariella, who is the daughter of a cocoa farmer. She told me how fair trade has affected her community.
Lack of running water made our community behind, as people had to go and collect water before going to work and school, which made them late. It was also hard for me because when I was supposed to be doing my homework, I instead had to go and find water because we didn't have it, and I had to go a very long way to get it, about 2 miles.
How has fair trade helped you and your family?
Fair trade has helped us because now we have things like running water, electricity, and the drainage system in our house.
It's easy to just see a shiny wrapper in the shops and not think too much about how it got to you. I know I need to think differently.
People don't realise that there's a story behind everything we buy, everything that goes into your trolley. Now I'll remember when I'm going shopping that there's a country, a community and a family behind everything I buy.